Hey, how's it going? This is the second to last night in this apartment. It's December 7th, 12:54 a.m. I really would like to fix my sleeping schedule. I think coming up to this date of Chiang Mai, I don't know, like sometimes I have a hard time not overthinking certain things, over prepping mentally for certain things. So, yeah, my mind is like, so much of my brain's capacity throughout the past few days have gone to thinking of Chiang Mai, and yeah, it gets annoying sometimes because yeah, I just wish I could, you know, take the time to think of Chiang Mai when I want to think of it, and take the time to just live my life without Chiang Mai. Yeah. Um but it's funny, like I can spend a lot of time thinking about Chiang Mai and not be able to do anything that's actually in the correct pursuit of it. Lately, I've been having trouble getting stuff done. Yeah. That never gets easier to deal with. It's very much a thing of like, if you don't keep yourself disciplined, you'll fall off track every single time. There's not an instance where if you're not disciplined, you stay on track. You fall off track every time. Yeah. But, yeah, I can talk about tons of other things and how life's been and whatever, but I think the main thing I wanted to talk about on this one was, feeling kind of disappointed with myself and not being able to do the amount of work that I've been wanting to do. I don't know, anytime anybody asks me how work is, I end up feeling kind of shitty. Never really quite satisfied with how it's actually going. Somebody I hadn't seen in a few weeks asked me, how's the marketing going? And I just didn't feel good about it. And I think it's because I know that I could be spending so much more time on it, but I don't. Okay, so, not spending enough time on marketing. What else then? What else are you planning to do? Well, I've wanted to pack my bag for Chiang Mai for the past 4 days. And I think maybe I spent like 20 minutes packing my bag yesterday. No, 2 days ago. And I haven't done anything on it since. Even though one of the only things I put on my agenda to do today was to pack the bag. So now, tomorrow's technically just my last day. Because tomorrow I have to, actually technically it's not my second to last night. It's my third to last night. Tomorrow it is my last day where I actually have a full free day. I need to pack my bags, pack up all of my other stuff to get it prepared to take out of the apartment, and then drop it off at my girlfriend's house. And then the next day after that, I do a border run. Yeah. And then the day after that, I fly out to Shanghai. This is coconut. I'm using a straw to poke on the side to pull meat off. Yeah. But it's funny. It's like, okay, you can just keep feeling sorry for yourself, or you can keep feeling disappointed, or you can actually get your mind straight, remind yourself of what you're doing, discipline yourself, either with your own talk or with actual action, and then it's just done. And then you don't need to feel bad. Feeling bad feels stagnant. Feels like I'm in the exact same place. Doesn't feel like I move at all. Feeling bad is literally just a state in between until I decide to be disciplined. Anyway, I'm very much just venting. Yesterday I made a video about the Tao and Zen, and I thought it was one of my best videos. It's probably one of the most incoherent videos too, but that's okay because the Tao is not easy to talk about, and I'm still quite young. But I threw it into GPT. I took the transcript and threw it into GPT. I asked GPT to sum up exactly what was even being talked about in the video, and to highlight points and quote specific things that I said. And my God, GPT did a great job. And it made me feel a lot better about actually what it was I was saying. Because throughout the video, so many times I was like, man, I wonder if this is only clear to me and not anybody else who's watching this. Probably still is. But if they use GPT to pick it apart, it makes total sense. Maybe. Yeah, so that made me feel pretty good. It made me feel a little bit more confident in the actual video, because I was pretty hesitant in my confidence of the coherency of the video. It always scares me when I use anything that's plastic. But here I am. And I could just use a fucking steel spoon. Wow, I think I wasn't gonna eat this coconut meat. Here's all the marks from the straw. Here, I'll actually get it like this because I think I might pour out coconut water if I tilt it that much. Yeah, look at that. So stupid. I feel like these have become so casual. I just end up feeling, especially because I can lift up the camera and show things around. Before it was very much like it was a webcam, and the webcam would disconnect easily, so I couldn't like move it all around. But the camera's not plugged into anything. It's pretty cool. And I feel like way down the road, people will use AI to pick apart these videos a lot more. If people actually are interested in looking through them. Because, of course, anybody can watch through these, but I think there's going to be so much that people are undoubtedly going to use AI to sum up some of these things. If you aren't doing it, it's probably smarter to do that. I don't know. I think also people will find it appealing literally just to sit here with me and watch me eat a coconut, and that's okay too. So, my brother got married, and I think it was March of this year, 2023. It was close to March. Anyway, I lived in San Luis Obispo at the time, and the wedding was in Springville, so I had to go to Springville. Yeah, I think so. Close to Visalia. So I had to go to Springville. I think it's Springville. Let's hope. I had to go to Springville. I drove my car down there. At the time, I had a 1983 Porsche 944. I bought the car for $6,000. That car was awesome. And yeah, I bought a Porsche. I drove the Porsche down there, and I got a speeding ticket while I was going down there. So I paid a lawyer to fight it because at the time when I first got the ticket, I had no idea I was going to go to Thailand. So I was worried about my car insurance and my car insurance going up and the record of my car insurance. I just realized this mic should be probably aimed a little bit closer or actually even at me because it's directional. I need to figure out how I'm going to aim it at me because I have to use both hands. Come on, baby. Anyway. So, you like my mic stand? So, I paid a lawyer to fight it because I didn't want my insurance to go up. At this point, I don't think I'll ever buy car insurance back in the United States. At least not fucking right now or anytime soon. So, my car insurance would probably fall back down, and paying a lawyer to fight the ticket and getting the point, I think, on my whatever. Anyway, I don't need to explain all of that. I had to pay the ticket. It was due on. It's due on the 8th, so tomorrow. Technically, it was 2 days from now because I just lived through the 6th, and it's due on the 8th, but now it's the 7th because it's 1 a.m. So I had to pay this ticket. I tried paying it online. It was not working online, so I had to call in and talk to a clerk. And I pick up the phone, and they're like, hello? And I'm like, hello? I like broke up a little bit, so I wasn't sure if I had reached the clerk. I was like, hello? And they're like, yes, how can I help you? And I'm like, man, I just can't believe people live their lives like this. Like, it's okay to work a job. It's okay to work a job your whole life. That's what most people do. There's no shame in it. There's nothing wrong with it. Working a job that you fucking hate, working a job where let's say you work the phones, and when you pick up the phone, this is your only fucking job. When you pick up the phone, you answer the phone like, hello, yeah, okay, can you give me the rest of your card number? Can you repeat the card number, please? Yeah, I mean, that's not gonna last forever. It's definitely coming to an end soon, at least that specific job. Yeah, but sometimes when I'm reminded of America and my old life, it feels very weird. I think I hold it so close still too. The way I experience life and go through it. But a lot of people here don't have a single taste of what that's like. And the collective feeling continuously brings me back up, as opposed to being in the United States and feeling that feeling of dread. This is the way everybody talks sometimes. Everybody feels like so much lower, so I found myself trying to fight to stay above it. And here it's nice because, like, most Thai people who work regular jobs work more hours than somebody in the United States. It takes more work most of the time, like the actual work itself. Yet, these people can act so kind, they can be so nice, and they can go home and still be so thankful. And yeah, it just blows my mind, the difference. And it's nice because it doesn't feel like I'm having to work against the flow. But yeah, I really don't know what like I'm going to do in Chiang Mai, but I do know that I feel like I definitely need a little bit of a reset. Although I wonder what today would have been if I wasn't planning to go to Chiang Mai in 2 days, 3 days. Yeah, such is life. Man, I love living. Makes me think about Norm Macdonald joke every time I think about how much I love living. You thought I was going to tell the joke? But yeah, sometimes I wonder to myself, am I really going to get to where I want to be? I think yes. I think yes. Even though I have days like this. And I think it's good that I end up documenting it and putting it out somewhere, because once I get to that point, and if I do any of the things that me and Benny end up talking about, I think people are going to want to know where I come from, what it is I've done, and how it is I've gotten there. I think people that really like me are going to want to know how it is I've done everything I've done, and get a little bit of a perspective of what it was I was doing when I was their age, or the age that they are in this very moment. And I think that I will get there, to where I want to be, because there isn't a day that passes that I don't think about it. Not a single day. And I don't think there ever will be a day where I stop thinking about it. And I put it into practice all the time. And sometimes I struggle to do that and stay consistent, but also I've started pretty young, and I don't think I'm going to stop. So even if it takes 2 years, 5 years to get down exactly how to stay in a good workflow, exactly how to make sure that I never have days like this. Even if I do have days like this, I still get a lot done. Regardless, anything. I get that workflow. Even 5 years from now. I don't think it's going to take 5 years. That means that I'm 24 by the time I damn near master exactly how to put into action exactly what it is I want to do. So, if you are young, even if you're not young, if you have ambition, and if you think about this thing all the time, and you find yourself wanting to do it all the time, keep thinking about it, because that's the first thing you need to do. And start putting systems into place to make sure that you actually see to it that you start getting closer to those things. And even if you put systems in place, sometimes the systems fall apart. Sometimes your discipline and your will to follow the systems you've put in place just flies out the fucking window. And it takes a while to chase it back down. But if you keep doing it, and you keep breathing, which if you believe you'll keep breathing, I'm pretty sure you will, then I think you'll do it. And I think about all the time, like opening a coconut in front of my mom. I know I will open a coconut in front of my mom, and using a big old butcher knife to do it. I was gonna scare the shit out of her. It's gonna scare the shit out of her. And then when I do it so cleanly, because I got it down. I do it clean now. Like if you saw me open the coconut, like open it up, I took one hit, turned it over, another hit, and then I ripped it apart. Clean. All right, sorry. I feel cool about it. I'm bragging right now. All right. So I think about this idea nearly every single time I want to open a coconut. Of not every time, but sometimes I think about this reaction from my mother and how it is she will act or her facial expressions or whatever. And I foresee these ideas of possible realities within the future. I know that I will open a coconut in front of my mother, and I know that she will have a reaction of some kind and whatever. This will happen at some point. In this same sense of how I think about these kind of things, I think about you right now, you, watching me eat a coconut right now. I think about it. And I think about you smiling as I'm talking to you. It feels like it's like tapped into a different realm. It's odd. Like sometimes I'll think back to interactions I had with somebody, and I'll make the same I'll be thinking about the facial expressions that I made, and then like unconsciously I just make the same exact facial expressions as if I'm trying to reenact them to remind my brain what it was I was actually doing with the feeling of my face moving, to also help visualize what it is my face actually even looked like. Because of course if I'm talking to somebody, I can visualize what it is I look like as I'm, moving my eyebrows up and down. I can think about it even though I'm not looking at the camera and seeing what I look like. But I know that I know what I look like vaguely because I feel my eyebrows moving up and down, and I can visualize this thing. But it helps so much more when I do this, when I actually move my eyebrows up and down. So when I'm reimagining like this situation I experienced, visualizing it in my mind unconsciously moves my face. I've done this since I was so young, and yeah, it feels like I experience it again, even though there's a good chance I'm not moving my face in the exact same way. But it does feel like I experience almost the same exact experience I just had. It's the weirdest thing. And sometimes I think that maybe when I think about you watching me eat a coconut, and I can visualize your smile when I make you laugh, I think that I'm kind of experiencing that reality a little bit. It's the weirdest thing. I had a girlfriend when I was 18. I had 2 separate girlfriends at 18 at 2 separate times. And the one on the very bottom half of 18, I reached out to her recently. Recently being like more than a month ago, actually, now. And I reached out to her and I said, hey, I think about you all the time. I think about you all the time. I reflect on the lessons that I learned from our experiences almost every single day. I question how you're doing. I think about what it is you could be doing. I didn't say all this, but I said something around these lines that was in like basically like a quick summed up paragraph. Anyway, I still think of you. You still hold a very important place in my heart. And I know we haven't talked in a very long time, but I hope that you're well. And I really hope that, you hope I'm well too. And she texted me back the most awful thing. Which, it was really hard. That was one of the hardest relationships I ever experienced. Because this girl really liked to take whatever it was I would give. She loved receiving. And that's okay, as long as you understand what's appropriate to receive. And as long as you don't push somebody to continue giving to you when it is clearly too much. And she said to me, you are one of the most repulsive, conniving, manipulative person I've ever met. I wish I never met you, and God knows I would have been better off if we did never meet. And I thought to myself, wow, I previously thought you were one of the most spiritual people, one of the most I wouldn't say intuitively divine, but intuitively interested, interested in intuition and divinity. You don't meet a lot of people like that. At least I haven't in my life yet. And it was very refreshing to meet somebody that had an idea of divineness and wanted to pursue it. And yeah, I knew when talking to my brother, Benny, he told me the whole time it felt like I was just like a drained battery. Like I was constantly giving my all. Like I was constantly giving everything that I had to give. She called me selfish in the text message. And I sent it to my brother No, no. I called him first because I was distraught. I was just like, I can't believe she actually thinks this. I didn't know what she thought of me. We hadn't talked in months. Since beginning to stop talking to each other. And I called my brother, and then I sent him the text message. At one point, she said in the text message, "You do not deserve me in your life." And then he said, "Wow, yeah, you don't deserve her in your life. You don't deserve that." um, and sometimes I'm in bed at night and I think about it. What is it I could have done? What is it I could have said? What is it I could say? I don't want her to feel bad. I don't want her to feel that way. I don't want to continue reliving the experience of reflecting on this thing and understanding that this is how it ended. This is how it was left off. Because I had this idea in my head of everything that I experienced and how grateful I was for everything that we had experienced together, even though so much of it was so painful and so hard. And that's, I mean, like, I had awful experiences as a kid with, one example is with my dad. And I'm still thankful for those moments, even though sometimes I reflect on certain specific moments that make me want to cry when I think about them. And I feel thankful for them because they've made me who I am today, and they've given me things to work through. Because I don't think everybody needs trauma to work through, but I think most people have trauma to work through. And I'm lucky that I've grown into a person that understands that and actively pursues unraveling that trauma and owning it, fixing it, forgiving. I forgot where I was going with all of it. I don't like the idea of so to think, it was so shocking because I had spent, I think we hadn't talked in like 3 months or 4 months maybe. And I had only thought of, like, of course there's things that I can think of in that relationship where I was like, man, that was so hard, or man, that was so bad of me, that was so bad of her, that was all in all just not very good. And that's okay. That's okay. I also thought of all of these other things about how thankful I was to be taught a lesson that I needed to be taught and be able to continue living my life the way I had been. Or whatever, this and that and that and whatever, all of these other things. So to think that, to know how she actually feels. When she thinks about my name, when she thinks about me, that's what she thinks of, exactly what she told me. That sucks. But I'm trying my absolute best to keep in my heart what it is I felt before. I'm so glad Benny said that to me too. He said, don't let this spoil how you felt about it before. You don't need to. Because this is one thing that you get to control. It's your choice. So, yeah, I mean, I continue to be so thankful for those things. And I'm thankful for even what she said to me, because it's something that I need to work through. It's something that it's weight that I will hold on to until I understand how to let it go. And I still hold on to it, just like so much other weight that I'm still actively learning how to let go. But yeah, it's a hard one. It's a hard one to let go. And yeah, I think what bugs me the most is being really afraid of what she said is true. Being really, really afraid that I am that person that she actually thinks I am. What Benny told me and what he sympathized with me about, he told me this is something that he's experienced too, is in situations like that, sometimes people end up picking it apart and figuring out how to accept it or understand that it's going to take time to accept it. And sometimes people want a quick solution. Sometimes people need a quick solution. At least what feels like a solution. So they come up with these conclusions in a way to rip themselves away from this person that they were previously in love with, and now they're so far detached from that person because they've like given all these attributes that they find repulsive, that to the point where it's like, I don't love that person. I shouldn't have ever loved that person. They're repulsive, and I'm repulsed by them, and now I'm pushing myself away from them. Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, it sucks because the fact that I have to ask myself, am I really that person? I kind of feel angry at her for that. Because I know what I did back then. I know what I did for her back then. I know how much I put in. I know how much I gave her. I know how much I wanted to be there for her constantly. Because she wanted me to be there so badly too. So to think that, yeah, it still just fucks me up. Makes me really sad. Sometimes. But, it takes time talking about it too. Oh, God. Here, I'll show you what I just fucking looked at just now. Okay, so I have to move my little fella here. So, OBS is taking up like this much space here, right? Oh, wait, you can see exactly how much OBS is taking up. I'm an idiot. Yeah, OBS is here. And what I see right here is your account is at a greater risk of. So I'm thinking about this account's about to get banned. So I just, yeah, sorry, I need to. It's because it doesn't have. Yeah. I should probably do that now before I upload this video, I guess. Because now anybody that looks at the video will see that. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah. Wow, I feel hotter after buttoning that. Yeah, very often too I find myself thinking, what can I say to her to change her mind, to change her perspective? But I have to continually remind myself, no, it's not for me to change. It's not for me to pursue to change, at least. Because it's her right, just as it is mine, to feel about our relationship as I do. So, whatever she writes is hers, that's okay. But God, sometimes I wish I could come to conclusions and then take a stamp. This is my stamp right here. Stamp it on the what do you call that? On the ink. Stamp it on the ink and then stamp it on my brain. It's there. That's how I feel. It's done. It's stamped. It's written. But nope. I have to write it again every single time I think about it. Because every single time I end up asking myself the same question. Am I really that person? And I have to write again. You understand your thought process about this. You don't need to tell yourself all of these things again. All you need to tell yourself is, I accept it, and I move forward. And, it's a pain in the ass. I wish that I would stop thinking about it, but I won't. For now. And that's okay, because, what's the other option? Oh wait, there isn't another option, so I have to deal with it, and that's okay. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't think I'd be talking about this today, but I ended up talking about it today. I hope you all had a good day. If you were alive on today, December 7th, 2023, it is 1:35 a.m., and I'm going to bed now. Hopefully.